All right, there you have it. So David Corenswet has embraced Bodygame, right? So we're going to talk about the new Superman movie and how he got jacked for the role for Superman. So without further ado, let's get right into it, right? So first things first, his transformation. So David Cornsweat is an ectomorph, mesomorph type build. Here in his original state, he was skinny. He still had that athleticism to him. You know what I mean? He had a very athletic, skinny build. He's 6'4", and so he bulked up. So when I was looking for a lot of this information, there was a lot of different reports saying different things. I watched the podcast that he did a couple months ago. I think I can't remember the name of the podcast, but he did a podcast 2 months ago. It was about fashion, and he talked about how he was the 190 at one point, right? And I think in this photo he is around 200, right? And then he bulked up to 238 to 240, right? He would throw around these two numbers a lot of the time, right? So he bulked up to about 40 pounds. So he put on 40 pounds in his bulk, right? And so he then cut down. What he said in the podcast, he cut down before they started shooting for Superman. He cut down to 228 pounds, right? And now he currently was 2 months ago 210 because he just felt comfortable at being 210 and he was comfortable maintaining that, right? But realistically, when we're doing these like celebrity breakdowns and stuff, we have to keep in mind that these are celebrities, and a lot of the times they could be using like some kind of performance enhancing or steroids, that kind of thing. So we have to also factor all of that into play because 40 pounds in 6 months is a lot, right? Of just straight muscle. That's a little bit unrealistic, but I don't know. I feel like low key, they may have exaggerated his transformation just to build up the hype for the movie, or he could be on some steroids. We also gotta keep in mind for those kind of things, and also for the fact that this muscle gain, it couldn't have been all like lean muscle. He could have put on some fat as well, right? So we also have to keep all these factors in mind when we analyze these actors, right? And keep in mind that he was eating 4,000 to 5,000 calories a day. So that's a lot, right? So he put on a lot of muscle, like a lot of weight, like from these two photos here, right? Which is why I'm kind of ashamed that the suit kind of looks trash. Like, I hate, little side tangent, I hate how the suit is so baggy because he worked really hard to bulk up for the suit to look like this, right? And keep in mind, I made this video a day before the trailer actually comes out. So hopefully maybe in the trailer it actually looks nice, and I probably have changed my mind on how he looks in it. But so far, I don't think the suit does him justice. By the way, if you're looking to book a one-on-one coaching call to make you a custom plan to get in the best shape of your life for 2025, right? If you want to build the superhero physique, you want to be like a Man of Steel, hit the link in the description. I got you. I can make a custom plan for you so that you can reach your fitness goals in 2025. So hit that link in the description and we'll see if it makes sense to work together, right? But let's continue on with this guy. So his motivation. So David's motivation for getting on Bodygame. So I watched the podcast that he did 2 months ago, and he talked about his early experience with, fitness and his physique. So in high school, like ever since he was in high school, he's always wanted to be bigger. He's always wanted to put on more size. I think he said that he was 160 pounds when he was in high school, and he was a theater kid. So he said not many people were judgmental of your physique, but he was saying like as he got older, he would struggle to fit in his shirts, and he got roasted mainly by females. He even talked about how there was a girl that said, "Oh, I don't date skinny guys," or whatever, right? He took that to heart, right? And he talked about it all on the podcast, right? I'll probably link it down below. And he talked about how he had a lack of presence. No one noticed him. He felt like he would walk into a room and no one would notice him. People wouldn't even bat an eye at him, right? He just felt he talked about feeling invisible. And he talked about how he was into fitness a little bit. Like he was inconsistent, right? Like after high school, he was a little bit he would work out for a couple weeks, live for a couple months, and then he would kind of fall off, on and off kind of thing, right? And that's a lot of you can probably relate to that. You're probably on a fitness journey, you're on and off. You're not really consistent with it. You're not really sticking with it. David was in that same spot, right? But he talked about how the role for Superman actually gave him an excuse to actually get on Bodygame, to get to get jacked to get in the best shape of his life, right? It was because it's for his job, right? So he had no choice but to work out and be consistent. And he was really happy with the results because he's always wanted this. He's always wanted to get in great shape, right? And a lot of you can probably uh, relate to this. You feel invisible. You walk into rooms, nobody notices you, right? You just want to have that presence. Like I'm always talking about, recreate yourself. So David literally recreated himself, and he created a character that commands attention, right? Literally what I talk about in all my videos. But let's get into more specific stuff. So let's get into his nutrition. So on the podcast, he mainly talked about like how he would eat about 3 to 5 meals a day, and he wasn't. I feel like with a lot of this information for his fitness transformation, there was a lot of gatekeeping. Like they would like I was searching around the internet for like his exact plan and stuff, but it's just very vague details. So, I took the due diligence to kind of like make a plan based on the things that I've heard and read and researched. Right. So based on what I've seen, his nutrition. He was eating 3 to 5 meals a day. He was mainly eating like consuming like protein shakes and full carton of yogurt. Like those are the things that he was mainly consuming, right? But on this next slide here, we're gonna go uh, into more specific stuff. So this is just so these moving forward. This is just like a meal plan that I have created for him based on what I've read that he's done and based off what I've heard in podcasts. Just give you an idea of what he was doing in those 6 months. So for breakfast, he was probably eating oatmeal with toppings. He had 1 cup of rolled oats, which is 6 grams of protein, 150 calories. 1 to 2 tablespoons of almond butter and peanut butter. 8 grams of protein, 190 grams. Sorry, 8 grams of protein, 190 calories. Oh, sliced banana and berries, 1 gram of protein, 100 calories, and drizzle of honey, 0 protein, 60 calories, right? And so keep in mind too, in one of the podcasts, he said that he would sometimes cheat on his diet and he would have cereal. So, and keep in mind, in that first photo of him bulking up, he didn't really look that lean. So a lot of the gains that he made could have been fat, but he did cut down before the shoot. So, but moving on. So he would probably go through. He had eggs and toast. So 4 whole eggs scrambled, 24 to 30 grams of protein. So that's 320 to 400 calories. 2 slices of whole grain toast. So that's 8 grams of protein and 160 calories. It's probably an optional option I put in here. He probably has some green smoothies, the spinach, kale, almond milk, and protein powder. 15 grams of protein and 250 calories, right? Because excuse me, he did talk about how he leveraged smoothies for his transformation. Like, so he would have smoothies for lunch, breakfast, like before at nighttime and stuff. That's what he mentioned in the podcast that he did 2 months ago. So his total breakfast was 62 to 68 grams of protein, and his total calories, this already puts him at 1,280 to 1,360 calories, right? Now let's move on to the mid-morning snack. So mid-morning snack, he would have 2 scoops of whey casein protein powder. That's 40 grams of protein, 200 calories. 1 to 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, 8 grams of protein, 109 calories. 1 medium banana, 1 gram of protein, 100 calories. 1 cup of whole milk, almond milk, 8 grams of protein, 150 calories. And you would have 1 to 2 tablespoons of honey, ice cube blended in, right? So his total protein for a snack was 57 grams, and his total calories for a snack was 700 calories, right? So this, you can already see he's consuming a lot of calories, right? Especially he's an ectomorph hard gainer, right? So for his lunch, he was eating 8 ounces of grilled chicken breast, turkey, or salmon, right? That's 56 to 70 grams of protein, 300 to 450 calories. For his carbs, he had 1 to 2 cups of cooked rice, quinoa, or sweet potato with 1 to 6 grams of protein, 200 So that's 200 and 400 calories, 200 to 400 calories. And then he would have vegetables, steamed broccoli, asparagus, spinach, 3 to 5 grams of protein, 50 to 100 calories, right? So for his fats, he would have avocado and a handful of nuts. Pause, no diddy. You already know if you want to get jacked, you got to eat the nuts, no diddy. And that would be 2 to 3 grams of protein, 250 to 300 calories, right? So for his total protein for lunch, it would be 65 to 84 grams, and then for his lunch, it would be 800 to 1,250 calories, right? So that's his lunch already. See, he's stuffing himself. He really had to stuff himself for this role, as you can see. And so for his afternoon snack, so what we put in here is he had 1 scoop of protein powder. So it's a high calorie shake, number 2. So 1 scoop of protein powder, 200 grams of protein, 110 calories, 1 cup of Greek yogurt. He did emphasize he was eating a lot of yogurt. That's 20 grams of protein, 150 calories, 2 tablespoons of granola, 3 grams of protein, 150 calories, right? So for his total snack was 43 grams of protein. And then for his total calories was 400 calories, right? And for his dinner, he had 10 ounces of steak, right? Chicken thighs for fish, and 60 to 70 grams of protein, right? And then so that was about 400 to 500 calories. And for his carbs, he had 2 cups of pasta, some couscous or roasted potatoes, which is 12 to 15 grams of protein. And then and that also adds up to 300 to 400 calories. For his vegetables, he had mixed salad with olive oil and balsamic dressing, 2 grams of protein, 150 calories, right? So his total protein was 78 to 87 grams of protein, right? And then for his total calories was 850 to 1,500. So 1,050 calories. So then we go to his pre-bed snack, right? And this is where he talked about on the podcast where before bed he would have like a huge carton of like Greek yogurt, right? And he emphasized that he actually didn't like eating the Greek yogurt. He said it was just like a pain in the ass to do, right? Because mind you, he's an ectomorph, he's a skinny guy, so his appetite is not as high like that, right? So he really had to like force and respect for him for doing this for the role, right? To satisfy the fans and stuff, to be the best Superman you could be, But yeah, so what he did was he had his 16 to 32 ounces of Greek yogurt, which was 16 to 32 grams of protein. Then he had his calories, which was 150 to 300 calories. And then he had 1 to 2 tablespoons of honey, a handful of mixed berries or nuts. Pause, no diddy. That all added up to 3 to 5 grams of protein, and that also adds up to 100 to 200 calories. So in total, his pre-bed snack would be 19 to 37 grams of protein, and so for his total calories, it would be 300 to 560 calories, right? So the total protein intake for the day was 320 to 320 to 373 grams of protein, and then his total caloric intake for the day was 4,600 to 5,000 to 320 calories a day, right? So this guy was eating. He was doing some big back activities for the role to become the Man of Steel, right? So for his workout routine, I was doing a little bit of research, watching podcasts and interviews that he was in, and he talked about how he was on like a basic push-pull legs routine. 3 to 4 times a week, he would be working out because he would be balancing, going to shoots and stuff for the movie and the role and whatnot. So yeah, so he did push exercises, pull exercises, and leg day, and a leg day. So we're just gonna get into all of that right now. So for his push day, he did incline dumbbell press, 4 sets of 10 reps. So the incline, he wanted to target his upper chest, and so for the flat barbell bench, right? This is just the overall chest for size and strength, right? So he did 4 sets of 8 to 10 reps. For cable chest flies, he did 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps. So this isolates the muscle for definition. And then he did seated overhead dumbbell shoulder press, 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps. And this works the anterior deltoids and triceps, right? Because you can see his shoulders were pretty like crazy, right? And he also did his lateral raises, dumbbells. So he did 4 sets of 12 to 15 reps, focusing on side delts for wider shoulders. And then he did his tricep pull downs for cables. So he did 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps. This targets this targets for arm thickness, right? Because what you got to realize is you saw his arms. His arms were pretty juiced up. So the thing about arms is you really want to focus on your triceps more than your biceps, because triceps actually take up a lot more of your arm, right? That's something I realized in myself. So I've been actually, me personally, I've been doubling down on doing more tricep work, right? Moving on, he did also another tricep workout, overhead tricep extensions, cable or dumbbell, 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps. It gauges the long head of the triceps. By the way, if you need a custom plan to reach your fitness goals for the year of 2025, make sure you hit the link in the description. I got you. I'm the guy for that. I can help you with that. Hit the link in the description if you need help making a plan, and I'll be happy to working with you soon. But back to schedule programming. Let's continue on with this guide. So for his pull day, let me just move my face out of the way. For his pull day, I'm just gonna place myself right here. For his pull day, the goal was to build width, thickness in the back while targeting biceps, right? And as you can see, you can really tell he targeted that his lats very well, because in this poster you can see how the V taper is already starting to show in the poster. But keep in mind that a lot of the times with Hollywood and celebrities, like they tend to do a lot of editing to make it look like something that it's not. So this could have just been editing, but also it could have been his hard work too, right? So we have to keep all of these factors in mind, right? But you can already tell his lats were looking insane in this poster, right? Even though I kind of hate the suit, but I haven't seen the trailer yet. Keep in mind when you're watching, I haven't seen the trailer yet, so maybe it actually looks better on screen. But his lats are looking crazy, right? And it's all because of this back day that he did, right? So he did pull-ups, weighted pull-ups, 4 sets to failure, 8 to 10 reps. So this builds width with the lats and strengthens upper back, right? Like I'm always saying, your weighted pull-ups, if you want to take your lats to the next level, you got to do weighted pull-ups, right? And so for barbell rows, that's another one that targets your lower back. Barbell rows, 4 sets of 8 to 10 reps, targets mid back and the traps, right? And so we got lat pull downs, wide grip, 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps, isolates the lats for that V taper. Lat pull downs and pull ups are going to be your best friend if you really want to get that V taper on point. We got seated cable rows, close grip, right? So 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps, focuses on the thickness of the middle back. And we got face pulls, 4 sets of 12 to 15 reps, and this improves the shoulder health and the rear delts, right? And barbell or bicep curls, 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps. This builds the overall bicep size. And then we got hammer curls. So this is going to target your brachialis, right? Especially if you do them from an angle, like the angle of brachialis curls. Those are also going to help with your brachialis. And then we got his leg days, right? So for his leg day, he did barbell squats, 4 sets of 8 to 10 reps. So this is going to build your quads, your glutes, and hamstring strength. And then he did Romanian deadlifts, 4 sets of 10 reps, focusing on hamstring and glute development. And then we talked about, he did walking lunges, dumbbells, 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps per leg, engages the quads, the glutes, and stabilizer muscles. Leg press, 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps, targets quads, increases leg volume. Seated or lying curls machine, 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps, isolates the hamstrings. And then we got standing calf raises, machine or barbell. And then we got 4 sets of 15 to 20 reps, builds calf size and definition. Then we got the seated calf raises machine, 4 sets of 15 to 20 reps, focusing on soleus muscle for the calf thickness. And so keep in mind he was on a bulk, right? So he did a little bit of cardio just for some like cardiovascular health and stuff like that. So I assume he did like some like low intensity steady state cardio. So activities like walking, cycling at a steady pace for 20 to 30 minutes, perform 3 times a week to support recovery and maintain cardiovascular health. He probably did some high intensity interval training. It's possible he did sprints, with rest sprints, kind of like a sprint interval type of training. Probably did this sparingly throughout the week, 1 to 2 times a week, right? Because he was going on like an insane bulk, right? So I doubt he was doing any crazy extensive cardio, right? But he probably increased the amount of cardio he was doing once he cut down weight when it was time to shoot. He's probably currently doing more cardio now, because right now he said 2 months ago he was 210, so he's probably doing a lot more cardio now. And he's probably not eating. He's definitely not eating as much as he was for the role, right? So key takeaways from this is that if you're a taller guy, you should get jacked, because you're going to be like a 6'4" menace. And the other thing too is you could actually implement this for your own personal journey. I would say that I don't think you need to eat about 5,000 calories. Maybe like find a sweet spot between 3,000 calories, 3,000 to 2,000 calories, depending on your height and weight, your current height and weight. You can calculate this on Google, right? The best rule of thumb is going to a Google calculator and calculating how much you actually need to eat for you to put on muscle, right? And for the tall guys out there, so from 6 foot to 6'4", right? I feel like the best weight to kind of be at that height is a good 200 to 220 pounds is good enough. You don't need to go all the way to 240. I feel like that's when you get into that big like bodybuilder territory, right? And I feel like the most appealing aesthetic bodies are when you're like you have like a lean, when you're like under 15% body fat, either at 50% body fat or under, and you're in that range from like 200 to 210, 220, kind of pushing it 200 to 210 when you're in that 6 foot to 6'4" range, right? It's a nice mix of like size and leanness and aestheticness, right? And remember, like, you also got to focus in on your V taper for this to all come together and look absolutely insane if you want to build that Superman physique. And that's what David did, right? He went a little overboard with it, though. He went up to 240 pounds, which I think was a little much, but I don't think he really needed to go all the way to putting on 40 pounds in 6 months. I think he could have just he would have honestly been good at like 215, 220, did a lean bulk for 6 months. That's like more realistic. Put on 10 to 15 pounds in 6 months. It would have been a way more realistic transformation. 10, 15 pounds. Going from, because I believe his starting point, if I'm not mistaken, it was at 200. Maybe go to like, no, I think it was, no, sorry. It was 190, probably bulk up to like 205 or something like that. Or what, no. His starting point is weird because I was reading on so many different sites. Some people were saying he was at 190, 195. Let's just say in his sake, he was about 195. Put on about 15 pounds of muscle, right? So 210 would have been good enough, and he would have put on a decent amount of size to where he could look like the Man of Steel, right? By the way, if you want to book a one-on-one coaching call and you need a custom plan for you to reach your fitness goals going into the year of 2025, you need help, you're not sure how to do it, hit the link in the description. If you're trying to reach your fitness goals and look like the Man of Steel, you're trying to look like Superman, hit the link in the description. I got you. I'm the guy for that. And we'll see if it makes sense to work together, right? Book a free one-on-one coaching call, and we will discuss your progress and help you be the best you can be, right? But that's all I pretty much have for today. Make sure you hit that bell notifications because I'm posting almost every day. And if you made it this far, you might as well like the video because you're already here. Like it up, like it up, like it up. Send this to a friend that needs to hear it. Comment down below what you think of the trailer, what you think of your transformation. And remember, there's nothing enlightening about playing small. And I will catch you guys in the next video. See ya.